All these weapons are made to stab somebody or to have somebody stabbed.
Prison is often seen as a place where creativity goes to die. But behind those locked doors, survival sparks innovation in the most unexpected ways. In this deep dive, we uncover the hidden world of improvised weaponry, a raw display of human ingenuity forged under intense pressure. Crafted from everyday objects, these makeshift tools are more than just weapons. They're symbols of desperation, resilience, and in some cases, bold attempts to reclaim freedom. Number 15. The Toothbrush Razor Hybrid. Hygiene turned horror. In prison, even the most harmless objects can become dangerous. The Toothbrush Razor Hybrid is a perfect example. It looks like a tool for cleaning teeth, but inside prison walls, it becomes something far more threatening. It is a weapon built for silence and speed. This weapon is made by melting the plastic of a regular toothbrush and pressing a razor blade into it. The blade usually comes from a disposable razor, stolen or traded between inmates. Once the plastic hardens again, the blade is locked in place. No special tools are needed, just a heat source, like a smuggled lighter, or the friction from rubbing it on a rough floor. The result is a sharp, small weapon that can be hidden easily. It fits in a waistband, under a mattress, or even inside the mouth. It is made for close attacks. A single cut to the neck or face can be enough to send a strong message. This kind of weapon is common in many prisons. It is not built for defense. It is made to strike fast and end fights before they begin. The blade cuts through skin quickly, sometimes deep enough to damage veins or tendons. It is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, personal, and effective. For many inmates, having a weapon like this means safety. In a place where arguments can turn violent without warning, the Toothbrush Razor Hybrid becomes more than a tool. It becomes a way to survive. It shows how far a person will go when they have no other options. In the prison world, survival often depends on what you can create. And sometimes, even a toothbrush can hold the power to change everything. Number 14. Shank City. The shank is one of the most well-known weapons in prison. It is more than a sharpened object. It represents control, fear, and the fight to stay alive. Inside prison walls, it is not just a tool. It is a symbol of power. A shank can be made from almost anything. A spoon taken from the cafeteria, a piece of wire pulled from a vent, a strip of metal broken off a bed frame. The materials are ordinary, but the process is slow and careful. The object is scraped across the floor or wall day after day until it becomes sharp. No machines are needed, just patience, time, and a reason. Some inmates go further. They build small forges out of cans and paper. They light fires using grease or oil stolen from the kitchen. They heat the metal until it glows, then shape it using stone or the concrete floor. These are not crude weapons. They are handmade blades created with skill. Once the weapon is finished, the handle is often wrapped in cloth or tape. This gives the user a better grip and makes the weapon easier to hide. The blade is small enough to fit in a shoe, under a mattress, or inside a book. In some cases, the shank is used for defense. In others, it is used to send a warning or settle a score. It is quiet. It does not need a second strike. One movement, one target, and the message is clear. During the 1987 prison riot in Atlanta, Cuban inmates armed with homemade shanks held control of the facility for 11 days. These were not stolen weapons. They were built inside the prison, piece by piece, in secret. The shank is not just a weapon, it is a tool of survival. Inmates know that having one can mean the difference between life and death. It is a sign of preparation, a sign of strength, and a reminder that in prison, even the smallest item can become a threat when everything else is taken away. Number 13. The zip gun. Bang behind bars. Firearms are not meant to exist inside prison walls, but in some cases they do. The zip gun is one of the most dangerous examples of what can happen when skill and desperation come together in secret. A zip gun is a homemade firearm. It does not look like a real gun, and it rarely uses real bullets. But it can fire a shot, and that makes it a serious threat. The idea is simple. It needs a barrel to hold the projectile, a way to trigger it, and something to cause an explosion. The barrel is often made from a metal tube. It might come from a broken mop handle, a piece of plumbing pipe, or the leg of a chair. The projectile is usually not a bullet. It might be a sharpened nail, a metal bolt, or a small rock. In some cases, the explosive charge comes from match heads, fireworks, or gunpowder taken from signal flares. There are two common types of zip guns. The first uses pressure. A rubber band is stretched tight. A nail is held in place. When the trigger is pulled, the nail slams forward, strikes the charge, and fires the projectile. The second type uses electricity. Inmates take the filament from a broken light bulb and connect it to wires. When current flows from a hidden battery, the filament heats up and sets off the charge. These weapons are extremely risky. They often misfire. They can explode in the user's hands. But the fact that they exist shows how far some inmates are willing to go to gain an advantage. One known case involved a prisoner who built a working zip gun using a metal tube and a broken light bulb. He connected the bulb to a battery hidden in his mattress. When he completed the circuit, the weapon fired a homemade projectile across the room. Zip guns are not common. They are hard to make and even harder to hide. But when one is found, it reminds prison staff that even the strictest security cannot stop every plan. Inside a prison, even small scraps of metal and old batteries can become part of something deadly. Number 12. Molotov Cocktail. Fire within the walls. Fire has always been a powerful weapon. It spreads quickly, causes fear, and leaves damage long after the flames are gone. Inside prison walls, it becomes something even more dangerous. In the hands of an inmate, fire can change everything. The Molotov Cocktail is a homemade firebomb. It is usually made with a bottle, a flammable liquid, and a cloth wick. It may seem unlikely inside a prison, but many have been built using everyday items found behind bars. The liquid might come from cleaning supplies taken from janitor closets. Some inmates use homemade alcohol, made in secret from fermented fruit or sugar. Others use aerosols like hairspray or deodorant. All of these substances can catch fire easily. The bottle can be anything that holds liquid. It might be a soda bottle from the cafeteria, a medicine container from the infirmary, or even a light bulb carefully emptied and refilled. The cloth wick is often torn from clothing, bed sheets, or towels. It is soaked in the same flammable liquid, placed into the neck of the bottle, and lit just before being thrown. Some prisoners do not have matches or lighters. In those cases, they use the metal from a pencil and the power from a battery. The graphite inside the pencil heats up when current passes through it, and that small spark is enough to ignite the wick. Once lit and thrown, the bottle shatters on impact. The flames spread quickly, setting off panic. Smoke fills the air. Guards and inmates alike are forced to react fast. It becomes hard to breathe, hard to see, and easy to lose control of the situation. Molotov cocktails have been used during major prison uprisings. In the 1987 Atlanta penitentiary takeover, inmates used fire to push back against the authorities. In 2016 at Strange Ways Prison in the United Kingdom, flaming bottles were seen flying through the air during riots. These moments proved that even inside one of the most controlled environments on Earth, fire still holds power. Number 11. Chili bombs. The agony ingredients. It's not a blade, it's not a fire, but it burns like hell. In prison they call it the chili bomb, and it's exactly what it sounds like. No gas, no chemicals from a lab, just pure agony made from ingredients meant for lunch. A weapon built from cafeteria spice and cruel imagination. The secret lies in capsaicin, the chemical that gives chili peppers their heat. In concentrated form, it doesn't just tingle, it also burns. It scorches, it blinds, it suffocates. And thanks to commissary policies, chili powder and hot sauce are often available to inmates. But some prisoners didn't see flavor. They saw a way to weaponize pain. They start with chili powder, sometimes store-bought, sometimes stolen from the kitchen. Some go even further, growing their own underground. Yes, real pepper plants, ghost peppers, even Carolina Reapers, smuggled in as seeds and hidden under bunks or inside light fixtures. The goal? Extract the heat and turn it into firepower. The next step is simple. Mix the powder with liquid. Water works. But vinegar, that's the real killer. It sticks better. It's acidic. It carries the burn deeper into the eyes, lungs, and skin. One shake and the mixture becomes a chemical assault waiting to happen. Delivery is where it gets wild. The options are endless. Shampoo bottles emptied and refilled, squeeze, and out comes a blinding stream. Balloons or condoms tied off, filled with the mix, hurled like grenades. Splat, and the victim is writhing. Some go high-tech. Asthma inhalers loaded with burning liquid, used like pepper spray. In rare cases, inmates have even wired together makeshift foggers, using broken electronics to create an aerosolized mist of chili fire that fills entire cells or hallways. Invisible, but instantly devastating. At Manchester Prison in the UK, chili bombs became such a problem that staff had to rethink the entire spice supply chain. Some inmates were even caught brewing oils from homegrown peppers. This wasn't just about hurting someone, it was about hurting someone. It was about taking them out without leaving a mark. No blades, no noise, just silent, searing suffering. Now, some prisons outright ban chili powder, others monitor vinegar, bottles, and anything that can be filled or thrown. But the damage is done. The fear remains. Every squirt bottle on a shelf, every hot sauce packet on a tray. It's a reminder. Because when weapons are banned and pain is currency, even a dash of chili becomes a way to wage war. Number 10. Radio heater hot play weapon. Electron torture. Radios in prison are meant for music and news. They offer a small escape from the noise and pressure of daily life. But some inmates see more than entertainment. They see potential. Hidden inside those small plastic cases are wires, metal parts, and heat. With a few changes, a harmless radio can become a tool of pain. This weapon is often called the radio heater or hot plate weapon. It works by using the electric parts inside a radio to create intense heat. The heat is focused onto a metal surface, strong enough to burn skin or start a fire. To build one, the inmate opens the radio and rewires it. Some use foil from snack bags or pieces of metal from cans. They connect these parts to the internal wires, changing the way electricity flows. When the radio is turned on, it no longer plays sound. Instead, it heats up quickly. In some versions, the weapon is hidden. A hot coil is placed under paper or fabric. When someone touches it, the result is instant. Skin burns. Nerve endings fire in shock. The pain is sharp and deep. It is not as visible as a cut, but the injury can be just as serious. There have been reports of these weapons in real prisons. At Riverbend Maximum Security Institution in Tennessee, officers found a modified radio that was hot enough to burn paper. One had been rigged so that any guard who picked it up would be burned immediately. It was disguised to look normal from the outside. The radio heater is not easy to detect. From a distance, it looks like any other electronic device. But it shows how far inmates are willing to go to protect themselves or to hurt others. They use heat, not blades. They attack without movement or warning. The pain comes quietly and suddenly. Number 9. The Shiv. More than just a blade. Forget the movie-style flick knife. In prison, a Shiv is nothing like what Hollywood shows. It's not shiny, it doesn't snap open. It's crude, silent, and terrifyingly personal. A Shiv is more than just a blade, it's a message. It's what a man makes when he's got nothing but needs something sharp enough to survive. It's not about style. It's about hurting fast, hiding quick, and sending a clear signal. Don't mess with me. Making one takes desperation and nerve. You don't get steel in your cell, so you scavenge. A broken mirror, a piece of glass from a busted light bulb, or even the jagged edge of a plastic spoon becomes a weapon. The sharp edge gets honed against concrete floors, cell walls, or the underside of a bunk. The handle? Usually it's just a strip of cloth, some tape, or nothing at all. Some wrap it tight in a sock for grip. Others hold it bare, bleeding a little with every stab. That's how urgent it is. Sometimes it's a toothbrush, filed down to a stabbing point, or a melted comb twisted into a spike. If someone gets their hands on a razor blade, they'll tape it to their fingers or hide it in the mouth, ready to flick out with a smile that turns into blood. Inside, a Shiv isn't just for killing. It's for sending a warning. Cut a man's cheek, draw a line down the face, and it tells everyone he got marked. As one old-timer once said, "You go down the face, not across." That scar talks louder than words. Number 8. The Bedpost Club. Brute Force Manifest. Not every prison weapon is built to hide. Some are made to be seen and feared. The Bedpost Club is one of the simplest and most brutal weapons found behind bars. It does not rely on sharp edges or quick moves. It relies on force. This weapon starts with a bed. Most prison beds are made of metal or thick wood. If an inmate is desperate or angry enough, they will break off a piece of the frame. This can take time. They may kick, twist, or use fabric like knotted sheets to pull it apart. The goal is to create a long, solid object that can be used to strike. The result is a club, often 2 to 3 feet long. Some are metal, others are wooden. A few are even sharpened at one end, but most are left blunt. The purpose is not to cut. It is to hit with enough power to break bones, knock someone down, or clear a path through a crowd. When a bedpost club is used, it is loud. The sound of metal hitting flesh or cracking against bone is impossible to ignore. It is not a quiet attack in a dark hallway. It is direct, it is violent, and it sends a clear message. This type of weapon is often used during riots or fights involving multiple people. While small weapons like shivs or razor blades are used in close contact, the bedpost club is built for larger confrontations. It can be swung in wide arcs, keeping others at a distance or knocking them to the ground. Guards know the risk. If someone is willing to destroy their bed to make a weapon, it means they are ready to take serious action. It also means they have nothing left to lose. Number 7. The Knuckle Duster. Fists of iron. Sometimes a fist isn't enough, not in prison. If you're going to swing, you want something that makes it count. That's where the Knuckle Duster comes in, a weapon built for one job: to break something with every punch. Its raw power is turned up to the max. No blades, no slashing, no fancy movements, just bone-meeting metal. Or worse, inmates build it with whatever they can get their hands on: a roll of quarters, washers, poker chips, anything solid and dense, wrapped in layers of cloth or tape to hold shape and grip tight. Others take plastic from toothbrushes or food trays, melt it down over hot water or hidden flames, and mold it around their fingers. It hardens into a custom-fit shell that looks harmless until it starts cracking faces. The lucky few get scraps of metal, parts from a bunk frame or machine, and spend weeks filing it down into shape. Some even sharpen the knuckles so they tear the skin on impact. It gets strapped tight across the knuckles with torn fabric, string, or tape. If it slips mid-swing, you're done. That grip has to hold because the next hit might decide everything. A knuckle duster takes all the force of a punch and condenses it into a brutal, focused blow. One swing can shatter a nose, crush a cheekbone, and split an eyebrow wide open. You don't need technique, just rage and something solid on your fist. These weapons show up in surprise attacks, in tight corridors, showers, or lockdown cells. Places with no time to think. One good shot can end the fight before it starts. The weight helps, the sharp edges help more. But it's the suddenness, the violence packed into one brutal motion that makes it terrifying. There's no warm-up, no warning, just a fist coming fast with steel behind it. Guards know what it means when they find one. Not self-defense, not intimidation. It means someone was getting ready to put another man down hard. A knuckle duster doesn't leave clean bruises. It leaves dents, blood trails, broken ribs, and missing teeth. And it protects the puncher's hand while doing it. That's the point. All damage, no penalty. Number 6. The Rock Hammer. Patience forged in stone. Forget the chaos of riots. The Rock Hammer is a weapon with a different target: the prison itself. It's not made for stabbing or slashing, but for escape. Quiet, patient, dangerous. This tool is a symbol of raw willpower, slowly carving freedom one chip at a time. Every strike says, "I'm not staying here forever." To build one, you need 2 parts. First, the hammerhead, a chunk of solid metal, sharp and tough. It could be a thick nail snatched from a workshop, a shard of bed frame ground into a point, or a scrap of machine part shaped on concrete. Then comes the handle, maybe a broken stool leg or a cut mop stick. Something strong enough to hold up under endless swings. Nothing fancy, just whatever works. The trick is in the binding. Strips of cloth from old sheets, threads pulled from socks, tape saved for weeks. The head gets tied down again and again until it holds tight. If it comes loose mid-swing, it's over. One loud clatter and the guards are on you. One mistake and it's solitary or worse. Using it? Slow torture. You wait till midnight, wrap yourself in blankets and start tapping behind your bunk. One strike at a time. Tap, tap, tap. Barely a dent, but you keep going. Night after night. Your hands bleed. Your arms go numb. You breathe dust. And every sound you hear could be a guard coming closer. But this tool made history. In 1962, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers escaped from Alcatraz using a rock hammer, which was built from a stolen vacuum cleaner part and a spoon handle. They chipped through air vent walls for months. No alarms, no blood, just cold persistence. The hammer didn't kill anyone. It killed the idea that those walls were unbreakable. Number 5. The Gasper. The silent killer's embrace. In the noisy chaos of prison life, the garrote, also known as a gasper, is a weapon of terrifying silence and intimacy. Forget the bang of a zip gun or the flash of a Molotov. In a world full of shouting, banging bars, and constant noise, the gasper is pure, terrifying silence. It's not loud like a Shiv fight or a homemade gun. It's quiet, close, and deeply personal. The kind of weapon that kills without warning, without a word. Its name says it all, taken from the desperate sound the victim makes when the air is stolen from their lungs. This isn't just violence. It's suffocation delivered with calm, deadly intent. Making a gasper is all about strength and hiding it in plain sight. Inmates braid threads from torn bed sheets, twist dental floss into wire-thick cords, or pull strong strands from their pants. Some even use stripped electrical wires. It looks harmless, just string. But in the right hands, it's lethal. They add handles, often short wooden sticks or cloth pads, to pull it tight with more force. It's simple, it's chilling. The way it's used is even worse. The attacker sneaks up from behind, maybe in a shower, maybe during lockdown. With one quick move, the cord wraps around the throat. Then comes the pull. Fast, hard, no yelling. Just a sharp gasp, a stumble, and silence. Within seconds, the victim is unconscious. A few more, and it's over. Why is it feared so much? Because it works, and it doesn't need a drop of metal. You can hide it anywhere, and once it's used, there's barely a trace, just bruises on the neck and a lifeless body. Guards might never even hear it happen. Number 4. The papier-mâché dagger, the ghost blade. In prison, even paper can kill. The papier-mâché dagger may appear to be trash, but it's a hidden blade crafted from toilet paper, old books, or scrap newspaper, then transformed into something that can take a life. It's not loud or flashy, it doesn't shine, but when it hits, it shocks everyone, because nobody expects a child's art project to stab through flesh. Making it takes time and focus. Inmates soak the paper in water for days until it turns into a pulp. Then they mold it into a knife shape, being careful with the edges and perfecting the point. Once it dries, they coat it in toothpaste, glue, or melted plastic. That's what gives it weight, hardness, and strength. By the end, it feels more like bone than paper. Number 3. The lighter, flamethrower, pocket-sized dragon. We all know lighters are used to light fire. However, in prison, even a Bic can spit fire. This isn't for lighting cigarettes. This is a homemade flamethrower, fast, dirty, and terrifying. A flash of flame that can clear a hallway in seconds. Here's how it hits. Someone flicks the lighter, blows across it, and a fireball erupts. A wave of burning powder shoots forward, sticks to clothes and skin, and continues to burn. The secret powdered creamer, yeah, the same stuff was handed out at breakfast. It's flammable, high in fat, turns into fire dust when airborne. When it hits a flame, it ignites like napalm. Add a straw or hollow pen tube, and that fire doesn't just flash, it shoots. You don't see it coming. You hear the spark. Then boom, flame in your face. No warning, no buildup, just fire. And once it starts, it's chaos. Inmates run, guards fall back. One guy with a lighter just took control of a room. It's not built to kill. It's built to shock, to terrify, to burn just enough that no one comes near. A few seconds of flame. That's all it takes to make someone rethink a fight. The burns, real, painful, sticky. The powder clings, skin peels. The smell of melting plastic, scorched cloth, charred flesh. It hangs in the air long after it's over. And the worst part? It's easy. It is so easy that some prisons have banned powdered creamer. Not drugs, not booze, creamer. That's how dangerous it is. That's how far fear goes behind bars. All it takes is one bic, one puff of creamer, one breath, and suddenly you're staring down a firestorm in someone's hand. Number 2, the broken dinner tray. Shield, mealtime armor. You don't get armor in prison. You make it out of whatever you can grab, and sometimes that means your lunch tray becomes your shield. This is the broken dinner tray shield. Mealtime turned survival gear. One moment, you're eating. The next moment, you're blocking a shank. It starts with the tray. Thick plastic, sometimes metal, tough enough to survive daily beatings from inmates and guards alike. Now, break it. Slam it against the edge of a bunk or the corner of a wall. You want a chunk big enough to cover your chest, something you can grip with one arm and raise in a second. Some guys take it further. They sharpen the broken edges, drag it across concrete until it slices. Now, it's not just defense, it's offense too. In a fight, this tray can save life. Inmates can block stabs, absorb punches, shove someone back and charge through a crowd with it like a battering ram. No, it's not bulletproof. It won't stop everything. But in a yard fight or a cell riot, it's something between you and the next homemade blade. And that something could be everything. Number 1, the glass shard knife. Death's origami. In prison, glass is gold, dangerous, rare, and deadly. One broken shard is all it takes to make what inmates call the glass shard knife, a weapon so simple and lethal, it feels like it was designed by death itself. There's no need for fire or tools. Simply break the right kind of glass, pick the sharpest piece, and wrap the base in cloth or tape for a secure grip. The edge is already there, razor sharp, jagged, and deadly with a single thrust. But getting glass is the hard part. Perhaps it's a cracked mirror, a broken light cover, or a shattered window. The inmate smashes it gently over a blanket to stay quiet, sorting through the pieces as if they were picking a weapon from a lineup. One side must be sharp enough to slice through skin like paper, the other safe enough to hold without slicing your own hand. Then it's wrapped tight, not for looks, but so the grip won't slip when blood starts pouring. Why do guards fear it so much? First, it cuts deeper and faster than most metal blades, with wounds that are harder to stitch and nastier to survive. Second, it hides like a ghost. No metal detector can find it, and it lies flat in books and shoes, or is even tucked into a waistband. Third, it's scary in a different way. You're staring at something clear, fragile, almost invisible, yet it's deadly enough to kill with one jab. It plays tricks on the mind. Inside those prison walls, survival isn't about strength, it's about invention, grit, and the terrifying creativity born from desperation. These weapons may be hidden, but their message is clear. When everything is taken from you, even a spoon becomes power. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great discovery updates.